In fact, that'll be Pryor once again, a very recognizable number 35, and he fights his way for yet another Rocket first down.
Albert Zuniga, one of the captains on the Churchill defense, was in on the tackle.
In case you weren't with us earlier, Chris Pryor has unofficially broke the city's all-time rushing record tonight. He has over 100 yards. All he had to get were 97 yards this evening, and he has accomplished that in the second quarter of action. 12 first downs now for the Judson Rockets as they had their 12th set up at the 39-yard line. Here, once again, having some trouble, but he finds Pryor open. Pryor taking the pitch across the field, fighting to the 40-yard line before he's finally run out of bounds by the Churchill defensive secondary.
Mike Coons was in on that tackle, but I love this play by Alan Deere. Alan Deere waited to the absolute last possible second to get rid of the ball. He shovels it off to Pryor, and then you say, Pryor, do your thing. There's no hitch in his get-along. Look at him move.
Let's remind you, we got a nice halftime show set up for you. Included in that halftime show, there are little features on each of our schools. Also, we'll tell you about the situation regarding our highlights and updates on other scores around. So stay with us for that. We'll also bring you a little feature from a man we call the Hey Hey Man in our booth. Here is Alan Deere. Deere trying to find a man over, and diving catch by Chip Lambert. Little or no yardage there, but Lambert does come up with a catch with 1:07 remaining here in the second quarter.
You ever heard of the Hey Hey Man?
Have I heard of one?
Yes, you know about him?
I know of him.
He is an interesting folk over at Judson High School. He's been there for 8 years. He's an older man, and he's got spirit with a capital S.
Well, you're an older man compared.
I got spirit with a two-story S. I'll tell you, this fellow, though, his name is William Pichelle, and if you go to a Judson pep rally, all of a sudden they start chanting, Pichelle, 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 and here this guy comes on out, and he does his routine. It's an institution, and we'll talk about him at halftime.
Oh, we have other things for you as well. Of course, we'll also review the highlights for you, and right now it's been all Judson so far, 25-0, and it has been the Chris Pryor show to boot.
Chris Pryor now well over 100 yards, and I pretty much can say it is official. He is the new all-time city rushing leader, surpassing Pat Sheehan from 1965 Lee team. Chris Pryor tonight, over 100 yards in the first half.
All right, Deere will bring his man out. Unofficially, we have him at 135 yards. Second down, a long 9 yards. Deere will put it up. Over the right-hand side, screen pass to Pryor. Pryor has blockers in front, so is a flag. He is across the 25, near the 20. Let's see what the penalty is about.
That'll probably be against Judson.
All right, let's check out the penalty. Referee Red Shaw over there on the far sidelines. I don't know if Red's mic is working tonight, but we may try out of here in a minute to see what the preliminary indication is.
Tell him to yell it.
Yeah, we're going to penalize from 10 yards from this.
There you go, Red. That's talking it over with the captain, defensive captain for the Churchill Chargers.
It'll be marked off against Judson. I want to show you that replay again, too. In this case, Alan Deere is getting a lot of protection. They're buying him time. Look at him. He's got a chance to look at his primary receiver and then go to his secondary receiver. In this case, it's Chris Pryor. That was the second man he looked at. Very good play on the part of Alan Deere.
All right, Deere brings him up now. Again, he has receivers to the left and right. He fakes the first time, rolls out of the pocket. Excellent poise, directing traffic. He's got a man open down there and is overthrown. Alton Martin was open despite the fact he was double covered, so that brings up a third down.
I want to check in with John Kirby again. He is on the Churchill side now. John is...
Here we go!
Can you get us, John? If so, I want to find out what the mood is down on that Charger side.
Well, Joe, we just get over here to the Charger side. I have a little problem on the Judson side. I can tell you that in the Judson side, it's absolute pandemonium. Overheard Coach Frank Arnold. He says he still thinks that they can throw on the Churchill Chargers. Back to you, Joe.
Thank you,
we'll
John.
Find out right now. Here's Deere. He puts it up over to the right-hand side. He's got a pass complete again to Alton Martin, brought down immediately by Mike DeHars. But it is enough for another Judson Rocket first down. That should be, what, number 13?
That's right. And this is a classic game plan, Greg. It's a game plan where you establish the run, and once you've established that, and Chris Pryor has, you throw the ball. You throw it to the flats. You use a screen pass now and then. The Judson Rockets have established that run, and now they're able to throw at will with a 25-point lead. They can more or less do anything they want. It's not over, though. It is not over. The Churchill Chargers have won 5 in a row. That's why they're here right now.
Well, you know, interesting point here is with only 29 seconds showing on the scoreboard clock, the Rockets have elected to take a timeout. They want to get on the scoreboard again before they go into halftime. They feel that the Chargers are a threat in the second half. Anytime you can load up that scoreboard in the first half, you want to do so because you never can take into consideration turnovers and, of course, injuries that could occur in the second half of action.
Jerry Comalander is going to have some serious words with his Chargers in the locker room. One thing they've got going for him is Jerry Comalander has been in this position before, not necessarily 25 points down, but he has trailed and come back.
25 behind in the first half.
All right, 29 seconds to play. It is a first down for the Judson Rockets as they bring it out to the 27-yard line. Deere over to Pryor. Pryor's got an opening, a cross tackle. Pryor breaks free down at the 5-yard line. There is a fumble, but they'll mark it down outside the 5 of the 6. Mike Cruz was there to make the stop and chop Pryor out from underneath his feet. But they mark Pryor down again. They'll call it about the 60-yard line, so it'll be a first and goal now for the Rockets once again with just 18 seconds remaining.
Chris Pryor called that timeout to preserve the time. There you go, the pitch. He skips over one, eludes two, three other tackles. He is finally knocked down at the 5. The fumble occurs, but they're going to set it up at the 6-yard line. 18 seconds to go before halftime. Judson's called a timeout. Are they going to go for the sure field goal, or are they going to go for it on the touchdown? Judson has 2 timeouts remaining. Churchill 1, so Judson has a chance here to call a couple timeouts, and they've got a few plays that they can run, at least 2, I'd say.
I don't know how amiable he will be, but we're going to try and talk to head coach Jerry Comalander going in at halftime and see if we can find out in Coach Comalander's eyes just what is not working for the Chargers at this point. Right now, defense is struggling against Chris Pryor and the Rocket offense with 18 seconds remaining here in the second quarter. The Rockets are way out in front, 25-0. Of course, earlier as we discussed, Pryor had set the new city's all-time rushing record.
Judson scored on their first possession, moved it down smartly. Chris Pryor was the man who touched the ball every time down. Then Judson scored on their third possession. Then John Tomasi hit a field goal to make it 19-0. And A.J. Jones returned a punt 76 yards. That is where we stand. 25-0 ball game. The Judson Rockets lead it. That is a happy bunch of people on that sideline.
A lot of people, I guess, thought we don't have as much standing room as I thought we were here tonight, although most of the bleachers are full here. So you're talking 14,000 to 15,000 who are packed in here to Northeast Stadium. Perhaps the weather turned some people away, but the weather has turned out to be a very nice evening here in San Antonio. First down, 18 seconds to play from the 6-yard line. Deere will put it up in the end zone. It is in and out of the arms of Alton Martin.
He almost made a spectacular catch, Greg. He put the one hand up to make the catch and couldn't bring it in. Here's the play from our end zone camera. Deere lifting it up. You got to make a rainbow out of it. You got to lift it high. Just missing with one hand.
I don't know. Call it second down right now. Second down and 6 again. 13 seconds showing on the clock. The Rockets threatening here again. Still with a 25-0 lead. They like to make it 7 more. Deere comes out, lone setback. That is Pryor. Man in motion to the right. They have a wide out to the right. Here is Deere rolling to his right. They load it up. They make the toss, and it is caught. Touchdown, Judson. Chip Lambert looked to be the man who got his hand on the ball in the end zone. That was enough to give the Rockets a 31-0 lead. We'll show you the replay in just a moment. But there you see a very concerned sideline of the Churchill Chargers, and they find themselves in a deep, deep hole at this point.
Those were the defensive coaches we were looking at. They're going to have to regroup. And
there's a guy who's got to be very happy with his situation. John Tomasi will attempt the extra point, as he has done this evening. Kick is good. So with 6 seconds remaining here in the first half, the Rockets find themselves with a 32